Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit. A plasma space technology to prepare humanity for transportation and transmutation in deep space. Essential processes are embedded to prevent mutations and psychosomatic conditions during deep space travel. This new system is designed to support upper body conditions, especially of the lungs and intestines, and can be targeted specifically for each organ. When inside the Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the body experiences balance in totality, enabling it to correct and rebalance all the fields within itself. The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a dimension in health and transportation never seen before. The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit. A space technology that allows us to work with the fields of the universe, creating a wide range of plasma field interactions and conditions. It allows the body to process itself from any physical or emotional imbalance. Once this balanced condition is achieved, the soul and emotion of the body can follow to find their balance and elevate the whole of the man. The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, technology of the future through advanced plasma knowledge.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 403rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, October 21st, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today once again on these Knowledge Seekers Workshop series. And of course, we are joined with Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. And I think he's eager to begin today's teaching. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Hi, good morning, good day to you. As usual, whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers, this is the knowledge of the Creator and how man will change and evolve to the new knowledge, to new challenges of deeper space. As we open the Linz permanent exhibition, one of the German newspapers writing half-a-page article about the exhibition center, they wrote, "This is where the Messiah sells his products." And it made us laugh that we prefer to sell products, to sell the knowledge that people learn with it and develop their skills of surviving in deep space, than imprisoning, taking the soul of the man to ransom, building churches and everything else to frighten man from the knowledge of God. And in that process, it is very interesting. As we said, the messengers of the present time carry both the soul, or called development of the soul, and the knowledge together, that no man will be able to abuse another man from now on. So if we are all messiahs, and we all teach the knowledge that there is no more need for temples, no more need for mosques, and no more need for churches, that then we abuse the soul of the man because he's frightened of the knowledge he's not aware of. And it's very interesting. As we launched a new product last week, we have raised a lot of what we call questions, a lot of new ways of looking at space technology, and a lot of what's next. The launch of the Spaceship flight system, which was launched in a very soft way last week, is the beginning of the change that we are bringing in. Would you like to play the video that we can see what we're talking about, please? This is the actual system. You have seen it in the enhancement unit. It's just adding a flight system to it. This is not something to be built to be done. Go ahead, please.
The revolutionary new Flight Enhancement Spaceship unit is due to be launched in June 2022, and in the same year is expected to fly passengers into space, to the moon and beyond for a day or even several days at a time. There is no need for the Flight Enhancement Spaceship unit to carry food or medicine, as it is equipped with the latest space technology for transportation, transmutation and deep space operation. This extraordinary breakthrough technology ushers in a new era of travel without the need of fuel, food, or medicine, even during the longest excursions into deep space. Each spaceship unit has a 4-passenger capacity for long or short duration flights and has the capability to travel between cities on Earth in a matter of seconds to minutes, depending on the distance and speed. This ability to traverse massive distance in such incredibly short time is not just a breakthrough for human transport, it also completely revolutionizes the transportation of goods and cargo, and will rapidly overcome the need for one of our most polluting practices, namely marine shipping, as it finally breaks us free not only from the combustion of heavy diesel, but from the combustion of any fuel for propulsion in the future. The Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a new paradigm in space travel, space medicine, and space technology.
Thank you very much. If you just leave the picture on of it, we explain more. This is a change. This is a change in a way that the system is already being built completely. You have seen the system in the exhibition center without the front end. The system is a fully integrated structure. We are setting up and testing its what we call final version of the flight system. The Keshe Foundation energy company, Space Energy, has been registered in Iran, and we have done the same in other parts of the world. We enter space travel not just by setting the system, but organizing the whole, what we call progress, travel, shipping, and everything else. The breakthrough with this technology is that every man can have access to it. You don't need to have a specific style of life and strength to become an astronaut. And all of us, at the snap of a finger, by getting into it, the way we get into the aircrafts of today and we fly from one point to another, we can travel now the depth of the space. As I was explaining to our team, the beauty with this is that the structure of the design of the flight system is, while it's flying you, it's feeding you. While it's flying you, it's taking what you don't need as an energy. And then at the same time, while it's flying, it absorbs energies from the cosmos. It absorbs energy from the environment. At the same time, it creates a dynamic field which allows for what the system doesn't need to be given out. This integrated system will change every life. As we have placed the order for the first unit to be shipped and to be assembled, and in our talks with the officials, they will take and be present in a full assembly that covers all the regulations of the flight system. This brings a fantastic position for all of us. The new system is not a flying car. It's a living car. It's a living system. By entering it, by setting the system that you travel to one point or the other, you can recover from illnesses. The beauty with the system is that it flies at a higher altitude than what we call 80 kilometers, which means any law which we have, aircraft industry and the international laws of the government, does not comply. What does this mean? This means we can place a number of these in the deep space. What does this mean? We can land a number of these on the moon. We were discussing with what we call people who are experts in flight systems and the rest. We're talking maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes flight to the moon. Our biggest problem is not the flight time. Our biggest problem is approach, stop, and landing. And this new technology will change all our lives. We try from November on to take you with us in the development, in the structure, and in assembly of the system. We are not there to deliver a technology in a package. We are there to spread the technology under work where we can change position and direction. As you've seen as part of this video, if you can go forward, please, to the 3 sets of the system. You have a passenger system for long haul. Now, from now on, when we speak about the long haul, you're talking about Mars, beyond solar system. Short haul is traveling between the cities and towns on this planet. You have a cargo system, which means you can deliver directly from the factory to any point of, say, in seconds, in minutes. This will change the whole structure of man's work. I do apologize, I have something in my throat. But the beauty with this system is that we all become free from the wheels. We become free from being attached to what they call human race, the four-wheelers. We come to see, we become part of the structure of the universal community where we travel with the flow of the field, not with the turn of the wheel. This technology, which now we put out, and I'm sure I was thinking this morning that we have placed the enhancements unit, the vertical unit, the new operation of the vision and what we call enhancing the brain in Arizona. It would be nice if the Americans collectively could come together to allow the first 2 of these to fly from Arizona into space. At the same time, we'll fly these from other locations around the world. We are not making one system ready. We are making multiple systems ready. This time is not waiting for NASA to announce the launch, or Iranian Space Agency to announce the launch, or the Chinese. This time, we try collectively to fly 4 or 6 of them across this planet. Some of us will travel from New York to London, and some of us will travel from Tehran to Moon. We have a big problem in Iran with the space technology and going to the moon because of the Islamic religion and holiness of the moon. We can travel to Mars. We can change the structure of the work collectively as knowledge seekers. When we developed the maglev systems, many of you tried and failed or couldn't actually get to the point. We left you all at those step-by-steps. But the principle of the work in all these systems is a maglev system. It's the most advanced versions of the maglev systems, where we can, through the structure, if you remember, I said that very recently again, and I'll repeat it. When John in Arizona set up so many maglev systems and he could feel the fields, and they went outside to measure the fields 200 feet away and the rest of it, John was on the right track. But the collective understanding of the knowledge seekers was not there. The anxiousness to create some electricity fooled the man from the stage and understanding of the flight. All these systems in front of you, moving to the moon, returning back to Earth, going on submerging into the oceans of the world and living, is not a theory or a dream anymore. These machines will give you everything, because the beauty with them is they create a shield. They create a magnetic field protection at all time. It's you who decides, is this to protect you on Earth's atmosphere, to protect you in the depths of the oceans, or to protect you in a deep space? Inside, we have created exact copy of life on Earth. We have to keep in the integrity of the whole system two main factors. One is gravitational field forces of the Earth, and secondly is that the integrity of the gravitational field of the Earth in the body of the man, in the flow of the dynamic field of the red blood cells. Which means, as the gravity of the Earth is connected to iron, and it has allowed the iron within the structure of hemoglobin to work, we have to keep this integrity across the planet, across the universe. This is how we know when you see a soul, when you see a physical body which is from the Earth, fingerprint sits within it. It's not teaching how to make gases for this disease or that disease. Now the concentration is on a fully integrated system which feeds you, take from you what you don't need, supports you psychologically, supports your soul and soul of physicality, and at the same time takes you into the depth of the universe or the depth of the ocean. In a new system, which will be shown in the next couple of weeks, 48 of these units has been sold and be shipped to Arizona in a very short time, maybe next few weeks to start with. The reason we launch these units now is a simple fact that, as you see, these systems don't carry any wheels, don't carry anything. In the integral and part of the structure of the system, the passengers, the captain just needs to think, and the flight will take shape. We don't have steering wheels. We don't have controlling systems. We bring the technology where the soul of the man, the intention of being somewhere, the position of understanding and emotion between the soul of physicality and soul of the man, we bring man to the destination of the point where he needs to be, or where he wants to be, or we want to test to be. In a way, the new enhancement flight system are soul-driven systems. You will see the first, what we call visual enhancement, soul, or whatever you call brain enhancement units in the next couple of weeks. And then this will be integrated into the flight system, which hopefully will take shape in the following month. We are not going to build a system. Could you please show the enhancement unit in the background, please, if you have it with you? The one
Sorry,
which is
Mr. Keshe, which enhancement unit?
the one we have in the exhibition center. Let me see if I can dig it out for you. I share it much faster. The beauty with this is that if you look, I shared it, it's okay. If you look, you see the shape. We are not there to develop a new technology. From the beginning, when I designed the system, I set it up to become the system. We are not going to strive into something else. When you look at this system, we deliberately at a time, we showed you very simply, you see the reactors inside. They're all hanging. Could you please show the horizontal unit video, please? Now you can see it's not a dream. The system is already with us. And can you go to Rick to the horizontal unit or the vertical units, just the videos?
The horizontal unit I've got here.
No problem. Go vertical. Just go through it. And I tell you where to.
With the sound on or with the sound off?
Without the sound. We don't need the sound.
Okay. Let me just get that shared differently here.
Stop. Stop there, please. Stop there. Or go back a little bit. Now you see in this picture, the system you saw hanging out now is built within. The advancement in technology and what it took us about a year and a half to further develop, now you don't see those reactors hanging. If you came to the exhibition center, if you came to the presentation, you saw the reactors outside. Because in a way it was good, people can now relate to it. But when you look at these systems or the vertical system, the technology is so advanced that we have built it within the structure. And this allows us to interact in different ways and different means with every part of the process. When we announced about the plasma packages, which is now again going around, a lot of people having a problem, and then they start using the gases, they've seen the effectiveness of gases, how even with the latest harmful one, they're walking away from it. In these systems, when we go into the deep space, when we put the man inside, does not matter what happens into every plasmatic energy in the universe, the body is protected. It's on a double layer, triple layer, if you understand the whole process, that in so many ways, we give you the system inside, we give you the system outside, and on top of it, we create shield field factor. Man has never traveled so well protected ever in his life, not even when he walks on the street. This new technology allows a massive change, massive rapid development in many aspects of the work within the structure of the need of the man. What will happen when you can walk into these systems and get fed? What happens when you can walk into these systems and change the changes in your body which was not needed, and you call it the cancer and everything else? The new technology, which you will most probably in the coming year walk into across these countries of man, which will become one nation, will change the dimension of life. Today, we hear about shortages of food, shortages of fuel, increased prices in the fuel for the winter. Would the world leaders allow this to carry on? When you can, in a very simple way, just place a number of these systems and create the dimension of food that every citizen, under the coverage of it, would not feel hunger. The same as we do inside our system. We can create a condition that in the interaction of the systems to create the same. The point where if the energy packages come, we can overcome by those and the same structure the same. What the man needs to farm to survive, what the man needs to kill another animal to survive. We cannot farm in the depth of the space, and we have no animals to kill to feed ourselves. But we have learned to use the energies of the universe. As you understand, this very little system that we've seen today, going across our systems, across our screens, is a game changer. It's a game changer that is not going to come. It's a changer which has already come. It's a game changer that will bring mankind to take the first steps to become part of the universal community, because as we learn how to fly faster, how to become more comfortable with the system, to find new dimensions and operations on it, I promise you one thing. For sure, you'll come to visit the other passages of the universe which are zigzagging the space of this solar system, the space of this galaxy, and the space of this universe. We are not, and we will not set to negotiate with governments. As has been the tradition, we gave a chance to the governments to walk themselves into it. Now we create the systems that the citizens can use it. And then would there be a need for a government? Unless we govern ourselves in the depth of the space the way it should be. As I always said, if man keeps to the ethos of the three kings from Iran, from the land of Persia, do good, act good, and think good, you will understand the man will survive across the universe. Needs no temple except the temple of his soul, that he believes in the conduct of the correct behavior. The new enhancement unit, which you see it in design, and now you've seen it in physical dimension, it will be on the table of the games of the man's life from now on. It's the job of the knowledge seekers to start to understand the work of what we started a long time ago. We don't need, or maybe we need, the hidden groups set up by Jalal to develop a new map. We're still setting up a factory in Tehran to produce magraves for the nation, because mankind will be in different stages of development. We for sure, will launch the first flight system across the city of Linz, where we test flight, where we talk to the governments and the officials and those who are responsible to be able to bring the nations to see. The new flight enhancement unit should be shown by the Keshe Foundation in the coming weeks. The order of the flights building the units has already been signed. The money for the delivery of the sets has already been paid to start rolling in. And then it comes, how many of you would like to be the first passengers? How many of you would have a correct conduct to get in? And by using the vision enhancement, you see the vision of the universe and fly to the position. Many of you, when we offered this vision units, offered what we call the soul enhancement unit, you were thinking of the eye of the man. We talk about the vision of the man to see where in the universe he likes to be. Where does the soul position itself? Where would the soul of the man be when it detaches from the dimension of physicality? That will be my home. As I said, our teachings are global teachings, as globe as the universe. And many of you fall into the traps of the word of the man. The new flight enhancement unit is the collection of all the enhancement technology which Keshe Foundation has shown up to. Be it the Maghreb unit, be it the gases for viruses, be it the cup of life and everything else. Collective knowledge that what you've been taught is within the system. As I said last week, and many of you might have not understood, book 1. You have book 1, book 2, and book 3. Now you have your enhancement unit. Which way do you want it to fly? In the direction of matter state or in the direction of the soul and deeper space? Now, with the thoughts you have, you decide where to be, where to reside, how to be and how to behave. Then do we need to negotiate for a few little metal scraps in any shape or form? Do we need to come to an arrangement to understand what we need to do? Now, we see a change, a revolution in science, and if Rick could make the screen into half to show you the flight system in image and the flight system what I just showed in the reality as is, and we are not going to build, we have already built. We are not going to promise the 6th of June because we might hit it 21st of December for the birthday of Mitra. That will be the gift to humanity, and we make every effort to achieve it. In so many ways, none of you have realized how close you have become, that all of you to become man of space. And yes, Messiah sells technology for the man who only sees value when he pays for it, but does not realize the freedom of the knowledge which is given to him freely. In total understanding of last week's teaching and this week's teaching is for all of us. It is not a promise that the change will come. The change has come. It is not a promise that man will fly to space, deeper space, in minutes. Now you can do. As I remember when we tested the first reactors in Tehran, in Sharif Tehran University, one of the officials said, "Mr. Keshe, let it go through the ceiling." I said, "Why?" He said, "It's our building. It shows our strength. Let it go." Now we let the knowledge go through the ceiling of the universe. It's on man to decide in which steps he would like to take, to be part of, to understand that technology is so real. We are not going to develop. We as knowledge seekers collectively have developed. It is for us to understand. It is for us to realize that the new flight enhancement unit will change your lives. It will change everything you could imagine, from education to understanding the work of your body. You receive the knowledge of the universe that there are no universities on earth to teach it. Man will become knowledgeable to the knowledge of the universe by a flick of a finger if the soul of the man in truth abides by the law of Mitra. Then you will understand that every gift has been given to you. We will bring what we call the structure of the new institute to you as knowledge seekers. We do not negotiate with governments, as by delivering such a technology, we govern through the law of the Creator. I am the Messiah. And I will show you how those take actions to make time to create tools of that will have no time and no place to be as part of the soul of the man's race. It's the beginning of a change that every one of you can be part of. We can control it. We can emotionally feel it from thousands and hundreds of kilometers away. Remote sensor control by the feel of the man is already being tested because of this system. And people who use it, they know. They feel when the system is on thousands of kilometers away. But this is the same. You feel what is where you're connected billions of kilometers away from Earth. You hear the call from the soul of the mother, and you respond to it through the soul of the man. The reality, as we said, is very real, and it sits in front of you. Now, we as a human race have become the true men of space. But still, as the paper said, Messiah sells technology that the man does not become a slave to another magician in the space. I said the technology of the knowledge of the creation, and those who understand it will take it a step further and will never sell their soul to another magician in the name of prophet or whatever they come across. body of these systems has started to be manufactured in China. Next few weeks, will be landing in the factory in Austria. In a few weeks later, upon its assembly, they will fly from different corners of this planet. And I wonder how many knowledge seekers will want to be the part of it. Many of you will give your life to be in it as the first passengers, as those who understand the change in the structure of the soul of the man and evolution of the new science and technology. I wonder how many of you will travel from Beijing to Washington for a cup of tea and return 10 minutes later. As I was explaining today, what we call experts in the past few days, we do not travel from Washington to Beijing following the curvature. We travel on destination point. For the first time, man will see, yes, the light bends, because the technology of understanding the knowledge will allow the man to fly with the light which bends, which means he will travel with the speed of light within the atmospheric condition of the Earth. Now you understand what we showed as a small video to get you moving. Now it has to start. This is why, if you go back some times ago, I said people who get into these systems, into the flight systems, have to accept and be accepted, because even the system has a soul and recognizes them. You enter another life dimension. You enter another process which already has linked itself all the correct emotions and directions of the universe. I hope now you all can see not what is about to come, what very quietly and cleverly we brought to you and we set it in the exhibition center. I hope mankind will understand this knowledge. I hope mankind will become kind to himself to decipher the knowledge within the system. A feeding system, a processing of the body system, a processing of the soul system, maturing man to become a peaceful man as he sees what he has is all he needs. Messiah accepted his first passengers to travel to the moon and to the Mars next year. And yes, we sell our technology to the soul of the man, and the man decides. My wish is, because of the way we know to fly the systems in the next few months across this planet, and slowly man realizes the time of burning, destruction, the time of killing is over. As we see more and more of these flying above us, as we apply more and more of these to our systems, that our cars become our home where we get fed and where we can travel with, then we gradually change. We look at the animals in the fields to enjoy their beauty, and now to think how they will taste if we get them. Gradually, mankind will become mature to understand. You throw every Sunday gases in the rivers and the streets. When these systems fly, they will release energies, will change the whole structure of this planet. I wonder, in some years from now on, what would happen to the streets and the fields and the runways and the skyscrapers which man has built over the decades and centuries and thousands of years, where you don't need to have your four-wheeler, the grass will disappear, the roads, the tall buildings will crumble as there's no citizen to live in it, and the fields will go back to the original as there is no man to eat, and animals will be free, but there is no man to kill them. These are not wishes, these are the facts, because I sit in the lab, I hold the design of the reactors and the reactors in my hand, and I know what the future is about to bring. I know the race of the man, as of now, will change to become a peaceful race. I know that with this technology in front of you, next time when you get hungry, you just walk into it. You don't ask your governments to create satellites that you get a better football match. You ask your governments to put this system in satellite that the whole citizen gets food, energy, and what it doesn't need, that sickness, cancer will be a dream of the past. Hunger would not exist, and no man will be thirsty, as we receive the energy of the water from the space of the time and place, not by drinking. This is how man will live in the space. You will not carry water bottles for you in the space that you get thirsty, but you receive the energy of the liquid, which sustains the dynamism of your magnetic fields. It does not matter if it's blood or it's something else. The true blood of the man will come out of the interaction of the fields of the magnetic fields, which the system creates and the body takes. One of the biggest questions for the man will be, when you become a long-term traveler in deep space, would you have the heart? Do you have a need for the waves to flow the magnetic fields to create the essence of the physicality and the interaction of it with the soul of the man to create the emotion of the man? Give me another few months, and many of you will understand. I am the Messiah. As much as you are in the direction of deciding how your souls will behave and how you become, not to kill, not to eat, not to destroy, and bring humanity on a track that the soul of the man become the flowers that this planet exports with its perfection. I hope you understand that the dream of the man to become the man of space in different time and place, we will see the change in the structure of the government of this planet. We will see the change in the dimension of the control of the fields of this planet. As you've seen the pictures of the enhancement unit, I'm not the dreamer. We have the system. And very soon, you will be part of it, to fly with it, to be with it, to enjoy it, and in so many ways, to remember that your children are born and they will be born in a free world where there shall be no wrongdoing by no man. And yes, Messiah sells technology. Technology, how to change the man, but the man needs to understand it step by step. Otherwise, he will not appreciate the beauty of the knowledge. We go to another commercial break, and when we come back, we answer some of your questions, if there are any questions. But remember one thing, any of you can become owner of one of these spaceships and decide what in the universe he wants to go, or she wants to go. Or collectively, knowledge seekers can become part of the structure of the change through agreements with the Keshe Foundation to put these systems across this planet as fast as we can. I hope in a further time down the line, we create the body of these systems through magnetic fields, very much like a deep space as we see as neutron stars, that we do not even need materials to develop, to bring them into about. And you will understand what I'm talking about in a few months' time. In 2 or 3 years, when you look back, and while you look at these pictures on your screen, you see the real ones flying above. And then you understand the vision of the Creator, how man will change and gradually will become part of the universe. Break, would you like to go through a short break? And then we come back.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. I'll have a couple of, I think I'll show the horizontal and the vertical units, and perhaps the other video of the flight unit. And we'll come back after a few minutes here.
The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a space technology that allows you to work with the fields of the universe. Creating a wide range of plasma field interactions and conditions, it allows the body to process itself from any physical or emotional imbalance. Once this balanced condition is achieved, the soul and emotion of the man can follow to find their balance, elevating the whole of the man. The new Horizontal Enhancement Spaceship Unit. Technology of the future through advanced plasma knowledge.
The new Vertical Enhancement Spaceship Unit. A plasma space technology to prepare humanity for transportation and transmutation in deep space. essential processes are embedded to prevent mutations and psychosomatic conditions during deep space travel. This new system is designed to support upper body conditions, especially of the lungs and intestines, and can be targeted specifically for each organ. When inside the vertical enhancement spaceship unit, the body experiences balance in totality, enabling it to correct and rebalance all the fields within itself. The new vertical enhancement spaceship unit, a dimension in health and transportation never seen before.
Okay, here we are back after that lovely music in the last video. I really like that, Mr. Keshe. Are you ready to begin the second part of today's show?
As usual, ready, able, and willing. But depends if our knowledge seekers are ready and willing to hear.
Yes, indeed. Well, we have a couple of hands up here from people we don't usually hear from. So let's see. We have Saga SS, if you'd like to go first, and Virgil would be next. If you could say who you are and where you're from, that would be good. Thank you.
Saga, Brasil.
Do you need a translator?
Yes. Rafael in the background.
Yes, he's here.
Hi, Rafael. Good morning. Or good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. Good afternoon.
Would you like to translate?
E Saga, pode falar.
Rafael, só um segundo que eu vou desconectar o áudio do Telegram para não dar eco.
Okay. So Saga is just disconnecting the other audio because he's having echo there in his side.
Pronto, agora já foi, Rafael.
Pode falar, por favor.
Tá escutando?
Sim, só tenta ser bem sucinto, né? A pergunta, por favor.
Tá. A minha pergunta para o Mr. Keshe é o seguinte, não sei, talvez eu seja um pouco visionário também, mas quando ele fala da máquina de aprimoramento do OVNI, né, do meio de transporte, que será agora uma coisa, vamos dizer assim, universal, ele fala dos elementos que compõem que fazem com que a máquina nos teletransporte a qualquer local. A minha pergunta é, sendo talvez um pouco visionário, esses elementos que compõem essa máquina, ele pode ser colocado em uma cidade, em um país, ele pode ser aprimorado de uma forma em que uma cidade inteira, ou um país inteiro, ou um planeta inteiro
Já entendi. Já.
tenha essa interação para que possa né, se para que possa ter um teletransporte ou um aprimoramento.
Já entendi, já. Deixa eu passar essa parte. So the question from Saga is, when you say about the enhancement units, now you talk about some elements that you have to transport people to make the transportation of people. So these elements that you put in the enhancement units that are embodied in the enhancement units can be put also in cities to make this without the need of the enhancement units.
Can you explain what you mean?
Okay, I'll try to be more clear. When you say about the enhancement units, you say that there are some types of elements and systems embedded inside the systems.
Yep.
So his question is these systems that are embedded inside the enhancement units can be put in the cities so people can make the transportation and feed themselves without the need of put the enhancement units itself in the cities.
What do you mean put them in series?
Let me try to ask Saga about it. Saga, você quer dizer os elementos para colocarem da unidade de aprimoramento, colocar na cidade, seria isso? Não ficou claro essa parte.
Sim, porque o Mr. Keshe, ele diz que a máquina, ela contém os elementos necessários para fazer, né, esse aprimoramento para que o ser humano tenha todas as condições para se manifestar, né, em qualquer local do planeta ou do universo.
Sua pergunta é se esses elementos estão na máquina, podem ser colocados aonde na cidade especificamente? Isso não está claro.
Não, pode ser colocado numa cidade ou num país ou num planeta inteiro para que as pessoas que tenham a condição da alma, o ethos, possam fazer esse teletransporte, possa transformar isso tudo numa nova era, numa nova era.
Então, só deixar claro. Então, esse elemento que você quer está dentro da unidade, colocar na cidade, você está perguntando isso, é isso?
Na cidade, num país ou num planeta.
So what he's saying is like the elements that you have in the enhancement unit, if you are able to put this in a city itself to enhance that city or enhance the country or enhance the whole planet. I think that was his question, but I could understand.
I mean, you set it for the cities. This is what we said. Yes, the cities can be set to do this. We already explained you can cover massive areas once the knowledge of the man becomes complete. Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. We had another hand up, apparently not. We had a question in the YouTube here from Peng Peter. Will the friction created by the magrev of the spaceship and the plasmatic field of the magnetic fields of the matter environment create visible light, making the spaceship glow while flying?
Yes, it's quite possible. Depends what the spectrum of friction or what the interaction of the fields creates the friction. We will see this without a shadow of doubt. We'll see lights. We will see a dimension of the interactions. And yes, it's inevitable. These are dynamic systems. You have a dynamic field. In the lab, when we feel the fields in our body. We can feel what they create, what emotion they create in us, what physical changes they create. The beauty with the new enhancement unit system, especially the one we are designing and testing at the moment, is that they will create cosmic rays and rays and fields which are not known to man. Then these will interact with the environment in a way that we have not seen before. And this is why we allow knowledge seekers gradually to come to the knowledge, because otherwise you just fly over their heads and they don't understand. There is a lot to be understood. There's a lot not to be understood only by the knowledge seekers, to be understood by the society, by man of science, by man of whatever you call it. Because I was explaining this afternoon to one of the knowledge seekers. And I've explained this before, if you've been around. If not, you will understand. When we opened the first factory in Italy, in the north of Italy, Keshe Foundation went and employed one of the top managements in one of the top companies of the steel manufacturing in Italy, paying massive wages because he was one of the best managers who could bring everything out. And after a few weeks of operation, we saw there's a problem. There's a huge problem. I went to the factory and I noticed something very strange, because even though the man was a manager of top companies, he was well thought after, he couldn't understand. I walked into the factory. The first thing I saw was a pile of maybe a meter high, maybe more, like a mountain of maglev system nano-coated piled on top of each other. I said to them, do you know what you're doing? He said, yes, they're nano-coated, waiting to go into the maglev system. I said, do you know what's the problem with your maglev system? Is that these nano layers should not be touched, not be damaged, otherwise they don't work. That's why you have a problem in your maglev systems. Because the man didn't understand the knowledge. Even though he was very knowledgeable in steel, he had no knowledge of nanotechnology, layering, and how delicate it was. Even with his PhD and everything else, he was a very elegant man, perfect Italian in a lot of ways, but never understood the knowledge. And this is a problem we have with a lot of knowledge seekers. When you make a maglev system, watch what you're doing, how you touch it, how you hang it, how you do it, and then you get a different field operation. Drop it, zap it, and put it in there and it doesn't work? Of course. Have you ever managed to bake a bread by putting that one at 360 and just putting the dough in and waiting 5 minutes to eat it, unless you burn it? You have, and knowledge seekers have to gradually understand even what does it mean traveling in this system. What can I do in this system? With this system, we fly over a certain limit. There is no international law. They told us in a meeting that you need to go to a space agency because above 80 it becomes part of the space. I said the people of the space don't even understand the technology. Why should I go and ask them? They have to come and ask us how you do it. They can't set a standard for us. When we created the standard, they're still trying to sort something out in the space lab. They're trying to sort something out to land on the moon in a few years' time, to maybe build a few centers there and taking pieces and pieces. You walk in, you can live on the moon with this technology. It's exactly how you live within the womb of your mother. You come as a single sperm and egg, and you become a total human being with the environment which the womb of the mother creates. It's the same. Now you have the ability to, as I always said, increase and bring in the tenth of the fields, and then you can live anywhere in the universe. When I did one of the first tests in Iran, in Sharif Tehran University, we used to be in a 4 or 5 beautiful 5-story block here. And the office of the manager was on the top, and I was on the first, second floor. And one day there was a knock on the lab, the door, and the guy said, "Excuse me, can you switch off your system, because nobody can call in or call out of this building." Thousands of square meter office block was paralyzed with a simple system. But do we look at the frequency blockage, or do we look at it that this gives us a chance to increase the fields, combination of the fields, and create a dome of life anywhere in the universe? It's the narrow-mindedness of the man who makes his road and path narrow to walk. This is what we become so narrow-minded that we only look at the material and matter state. Now, when you look at the field states, it's a different ballgame. And these systems are there to create that initial school of thought that you can do the next. Would our children need a vehicle to travel when, through understanding of the generation of these technologies, understand the soul of them is a flying system? And now be the only time that Messiah can answer anymore. We pack shop and go somewhere else. Maybe another planet Zeus, to change the man from being a wild thing to become a beautiful, tamed and understanding, or maybe enhanced knowledge of others in the universe. Try to understand the interaction of the fields, and then you can be everything that you can imagine. Nobody can sell it to you as a product. That's what I always tell you. I am the Messiah, but the Messiah of my own physicality and my own soul. Let's see if you understand it. I'll tell you one thing which I have said very recently, and you have heard it. Very soon, the world religious leaders will take their turbans off and their hats and their crowns, and they walk as normal man on the street, as the man become wise to the knowledge of the Creator, and no one can be in between or translator. Shall be the same with the kings, those who think they can king the others, where man realizes the kingdom is within the structure of the knowledge, not with a fake crown on the head. Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. We have Dr. Gato with the hand up here.
Hello, thank you very much, Rick. Good evening, Mr. Keshe.
Good evening.
Thank you once again.
What happened with teaching today?
Oh, I had to change because I invited them here. In fact, some of them are already here. I've seen one ask a question in the chat, but this, again, we are running out of words to express the experience of releasing this new technology every week. So it's amazing one week, it's very amazing next week, it's way very amazing, and now we have run out of words. But in any case, let it suffice when I say that your technology is more than amazing, and I welcome the new change.
It's our technology. Collectively, we are developing it. And collectively,
Thank you very much. Yeah, the collective development technology is more than amazing. Thank you. I have a question. You said that this system can take four passengers. And because there is no wheel, including the steering wheel, which of the souls of the four will think, and then the machine, the spaceship unit will go to the moon or another place, Mars? And how about if two of those souls or two of those people, passengers, two of the four are thinking in different, they are thinking of, one thinks of going to the other one thinks of going to the Mars. So what determines where the system goes? Thank you very much.
We were discussing this in the past few days, that's how it works. You know, the best way I can explain it, we call it in Farsi, if you understand the beauty of the language, Taraf. In Persian language, it's very common. You say somebody, please go first. No, you go please first. Well, actually, I want you to go first because I value you more. So we have, please, do, please, take, please. In the process of the traveling with this system, the respect of the power of the soul of the one which is valued and respected will take the position and the dimension. You want to go to the moon? I want to go to the Mars. But is the what I call discretion of the balance of the souls, which will decide. I want to go to Mars, but I'm more anxious to go to the moon. I come with you. You can take off. I go to the next. You will not be abandoned because the captain is gone. The captain is you because it's state conditional. It's very much understanding the work of the soul. And then you don't get abandoned in the middle of the universe because the captain came up and went for a walk to see something and he wants to do it for 1,000 years. The beauty of these systems is how you get connected and how it connects with you. You will understand this more and more. We are doing a lot of tests in the background and it's beautiful how we see these things building up as we are putting systems together to, in a way, to communicate and find a balance within the souls. If you notice, I said the control system in these systems is not built that when you put the helmet on your head, you become the captain. The system is built within the structure that everyone, collective balance will become the captain. Man has a lot to learn. We are building these systems in the progressive development of the knowledge seekers in the background who have reached the point of maturity to understand.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. I have another question.
Yes. You allowed too much again. 2 questions.
Yes, thank you very much. This question is loaded, if I may say so. So the question is the first flight going to take off from Iran and either on December 12, as you said, or 6th of June, 2022? And why Iran or why not? Thank you very much indeed.
First of all, Iran is the mother birth of Western civilization. As I explained this before, we know it and we understand it. On the other hand, Iran is where the Mitra came from. The land of peace, the land of understanding. And thirdly, we chose Iran because it's the mother point birth of most of the living civilization, connection in all directions. I explained this before, and in time, you will understand more and more about it. And secondly, we are not restricting the flights to Iran only. If you listen to the teaching, we open the dimensions to different countries and nations. We'll be receiving 3 units a week. And by the time we have the first flight systems ready and packed to go and everything else, we most likely about 10 of them on the run in the assembly. And gradually we deliver things step by step to the countries which purchase one. And then we put them into flight. Don't forget, citizens of each nation has to come to take their system to their nation. I'm not a pilot, and I'm not a delivery man. Or do you want your system to be on the waters, on the trains for 8 to 10 weeks, where those of you who bought it, you come and take it and guarantee that you fly it when we say so together. You understand gradually what we are aiming at. You understand gradually how we set the system separate. The enhancement unit, body enhancement unit, the vertical unit, the horizontal unit, the brain unit. Because the man will suffer in different ways and it needs to be adjusted in different ways. And these enhancement units will take a long time for mankind to be able, all of mankind, at the same time. Unless we see achievement and development in the soul of the collective matter. You got to realize one thing, that once we blow the wind of the knowledge of the universe to the soul of the man, every soul on this planet will be educated. But not all souls are ready to go through transition. Any other question?
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe, and congratulations.
Congratulations to you, and I hope you will be one of those who will take one. That's one of my deepest wishes.
I look forward to doing exactly that. as soon as possible. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. We have Stefania as well here. Stefania, can you go ahead?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Keshe. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Can you hear me properly? Can you hear me properly?
The whole universe can hear you, Stefania.
Good. As you already said, the teaching is not just to the earth, but up to the universe. Yes, I would like to say something that I wanted to say last week, but it just came to my mind afterwards regarding the spacecraft. So you show us that there are four spaces in the spacecraft, and you remind me a lot of the Mojang, and also you said a few workshops ago that this enhancement unit, this machine, this flight system, will be like for us, like to teach us to fly, like you said a few workshops ago, if I understood correctly, that will be like a pilot in a simulator. Where we will learn how to fly with no fear. So my assumption when I look this fly system, it's like because as you know, in the Mojang we're supposed to fly, but we didn't have any system. We had our body, because as many times you said that our body is our spacecraft, and in the Mojang you started to taught us about the soul, where the soul is, how to interact, and then towards the end you prepare us for the fly. And you always said you were like our, how you say, the midwife. You saw yourself like a midwife for humankind to take us to the next step. So everything you said, through my personal experience, you always said what there is in the teen. So, you know, everything you said, it always became reality. So the same when we were in the Mojang, when you ask us to after you explain us how the soul works, and you explain us where the soul was, all the teaching that you give to everybody in the you taught us as well, and all became, I experienced a lot. It was a life-changing experience for me, the Mojang. It changed completely my life. The life was never the same after that, because many things happened, and so to me that became reality. So but you said that this, because so basically when we were supposed to fly, I know I had fear, and I pretty much sure you told us too. So it's not like I imagine it. You say to us that the reason why I start to rotate really fast was because I had fear of and the fear took over, and I didn't stay straight. So I kind of stopped all the process because of fear. And a few workshops ago, you said that this is like it will take off the fear. So my assumption is, correct me if I'm wrong, my assumption is that we will do like the Mojang, where we're gonna be able to use, make the spacecraft with our body, but the machine is for it's kind of give us support on the transition and take off the fear. This is my assumption. Is it like this?
As motions, both in Ghana and especially in China, you were taught and matured to be able to fly with your soul. But as I said, you were not mature to see the knowledge. All motions, those who came through it and understood it, we see this system on the screen. The knowledge you were given is the next step, even the next step after this system, as I said before, where you learn to travel with your soul. You learn to live through your soul. And this is important to all of us. The motions were given the knowledge in full, but through the lack of understanding when they read, and whatever you might have, degree of knowledge, not the financial, very soon they'll come to understand. Many times, I wish I would have taken more knowledge seekers as motions, that one of them would have elevated through the understanding and teach the others to travel through this. Some of you took little, some of you were not there to take little, you were just there to see what you can do and how it's going to change you, but you never understood the knowledge was given within your soul. And then if you understood it, in a few months, in a few more teachings, say, now I know, I was told how to change, and now I can do. We're getting very close to those who were true motions, to even they start understanding how the souls will become the vehicle for them to become the next passengers of space. And you became universal councilman, and at the same time motion, you will see the structure of the change faster than the others, most probably. It's understanding it, is not just listening to it.
But I have to say that for me, it was very life-changing, the motion experience, because you remember, Mr. Keshe, even when my skin changed color, there was a point where everything you were saying in the morning, it would happen in the evening. To me, when I look back to the motion, that for me was the reality of how everything is. You give us the opportunity. It's like when a woman got pregnant and suddenly her body changed. It's not under their control to become bigger and accommodate their body for the baby. When the last day when you told us to fly, and we went in star formation, and it was like an engine, like a machine who start up. It was like something, like if you connect with something bigger, it's like the same as a mother, her body change, or like you said always, you don't have control on your heart, that beating every night, all night long. You're not aware of all the processes that happening inside your body, but they're happening. There's this intelligence that your body has to make all this happening while you're doing other stuff. So when we were supposed to fly, and I felt the certain things, they were real to me and to others, because I was not on my own. We were in four, and when things start to happening, it was like that, like if is a superior intelligence took over. But I did. It was like what you said. No, you cannot think. It's not about thinking. When you think, is not it. Things start to happening. But at the same time, is exactly what you said, that we don't lose our physical me, whatever. So the fear took over, because I could tell that we were going, something bigger was going to happen next. And I didn't, it's what you said many times, when we have to be ready of let go everything. It's like, you always said it, it's like when someone is ready to die, so it's ready to let go everything. And I realized at that point that obviously I was not ready, obviously. So I tried to stop all the process. And I did felt a little bit like a failure. And then I look back, and it was a big lesson for me, because this is all real. And what I understood as well, that exactly what you said, we're creating condition, and then the things happen. And I think this is what we're doing now. We're creating condition for things to happen, and the things will happen. That's why a part of the condition is also to be ready, really be ready to have this full trust you talk about, and to have not to have fear. I understood from the Mojang, there is not space for fear, and I understood that the fear will go away with the knowledge, with the understanding. So obviously, I agree when you said that we were not ready. Otherwise, we would have done it, because everything you said happened without us doing anything. Everything happened very spontaneously towards the end of the Mojang. I remember you also said to us when we were on the plane not to connect. Otherwise, we would stop the plane. Many things happened during the Mojang that I will never forget. And they were very, very real. And the only things I can, so in one way, I wish I would never let you down. Yeah.
No, you haven't let anyone down. You just gradually mature to understand it faster than the others. In a way, you've been trained for it. You've been taught what to look for. We had those knowledge seekers who came to knowledge seekers as Mojans, but they had a different agenda. And we had those as knowledge seekers who came to become Mojans, and they truly were there to achieve it. If you talk about the four chairs in this slide. Why do we introduce four-chair system to start with? Look at the star formation, four system, and then the collective soul will decide with the soul of the system. This system is not a structure. This system is alive. It interacts with you, knows your need, gives you what you need, and take what you don't need. Unfortunately, if you look into this building structure, have you seen a toilet yet? When they cut it layer by layer, have you seen any facility for you to get rid of what you don't need? Because the system will take everything what you don't need. The man will change in these systems. When some of the knowledge seekers don't know, the knowledge seekers who became Mojans and joined us in Ghana for a few weeks. Then we flew them from Ghana to China, and they stayed with us there a few more weeks. And we promised them we'll bring them together. That bringing together is when the soul matures to be, and those who were not understood will be weeded out. The time for development of the soul comes step by step. And then when you understand it, you become the pillars of, in a way, the lamps to guide others to follow. You don't become prophets. You become the one which burns to lead the others to see the way, see the path. And it was beautiful to see how a few of the knowledge seekers literally achieved the dimension of the progress of their soul to become the true Mojans. And I saw one, two, and one which came there with a greed of the time, not with knowledge of time. And you still see them. They are very visual. We see everything. And it's amazing how knowledge will come back once you learn it. It's embedded in you. Thank you very much, Rick. Thank you very much, Stefania. As we can see, we haven't allocated any kitchen, dining table, toilets, or anything else in the system. Because the system is unified. The system will take what you don't need and give you what you need.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Also, what I remember, just briefly, you also said something that you repeated last Thursday to us in the Mojan. You said to us, you can move the earth, the position of the earth, if four of you, but this, I don't know if I remember correctly, four of us, and when you can go around the earth and change the fields of the earth and be able to move the earth. And this reminded me this last week when you talk about the spacecraft like stars in the universe. That really reminded me that. Yes, so I just wanted to talk. I wanted to say that this as well because I understood it. What you told us in the Mojan, I understood it last week when you talk about the star. I didn't quite understand at the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gradually, we understand ourselves little by little more of whatever little we know. Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Keshe, we have, let's see here. We had a question from Marco in the Q&A. I didn't quite understand the first part of your question there. The second question was, taking advantage of space, how do we achieve harmony between the crew, the soul of the man, the soul of physicality, and the physicality? And yes, the physicality always does something on impulse.
Soon you will learn that there is no such a thing. And there is no captain. And when man enters these systems, he becomes a peaceful man. There is no greed in the man. There is nothing. You feel peaceful. You feel serene. You feel I have everything I want. I'm not hungry. I don't need food. I don't need wealth. I don't need warmth. The emotion of the completion is one of the one things that those who become passengers of these vehicles will feel. I'm complete. Man has not or does not have this emotion as such developed in it. I have everything I need. When you are passengers of these systems, the way they work and the way they structure the field balances of the body, you might walk for months whoever need to take food, because the field set up around you within the structure of your cell still interacts with this environment, does not need the machine. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to come. There's a lot for man to explore, to understand.
We have a couple of questions that are similar here from Peng Peter. Are two spaceships able to communicate with each other, similar to how one submarine makes contact with other submarines by tuning into two different frequencies of radio waves? And the other question from Dan, which is similar, can two flight units meet during the trip?
Of course, you interact. In the development of the technology, when you understand more, it's very simple. When we just explained, you expand the fields around you to make a shield, or you're creating environment to sit. And what they're asking is just to connect the fields of the two or the three. When you create a similar field of strength, you become part of one. You can jump from one to another. Now we learn a lot very much faster. Time has come to mature.
Geraldo asks in the Q&A, Mr. Keshe, you said that while flying, it enhances the soul. Is this the beginning of freedom of man in order to fly through the soul?
This is the way called to teach you gradually, yes, for those who are ready for it. I said many times, a very beautiful English saying, you can take a horse to the water, but you cannot make it to drink. Because it's not ready, it's not thirsty. Man is not thirsty for peace. Man is not thirsty for not to need to kill. Man is thirsty to kill, to be about to be something more.
Andre in the Q&A is asking, when will there be an exhibition in Brazil, like a technology fair?
I don't know. At the moment, we are pushing with what we have in Lens and gradually building it up, most probably. We got to realize Keshe Foundation is on a very, very delicate path. World leaders who are what they call themselves superpowers don't want to lose the position. So Keshe Foundation sharing such a knowledge that everybody can go everywhere is a problem. So in a way, we want to have the technology, but we don't want to allow the others have their own state superpowers will become equal. At the same time, part of the problem with the Keshe Foundation is we show you how is a new true dimension of your soul, understanding it, walk away from religions. So religious leaders are not so good with us either. But the only thing they don't understand, we are here to bring the change, and we are here to see the change to go through. This time, man will walk out of this planet as a peaceful man, as a man who believes in himself and understands the process of the creation, that no one can cheat him in the name of anything. And this is what it is important for all of you to understand. You're giving the freedom of yourself. You're not enslaving you to become us. We are part of each other. And if you understood this, if you haven't understood this, you still be in the streets and in the maze of the knowledge, in the maze of lack of what we call understanding of the process of creation. If you listen to all the teachings, some of the teachings, and understand it through media of it, many of you should have traveled with their soul. Many of you will have understood the operation of your engine center. You don't need to be in Brazil or to be in Mexico or to create exhibitions somewhere. At the moment, one place is good enough for us. We are here with the engines and we show the technology. And it's what others to do. And as the German newspaper article said, Messiah sells, prefers to sell than slave the soul. If you notice for past years, many of you knowledge seekers who are in the background or with us, you have offered us hundreds of thousands of square meters of land. You have offered us the most prestigious properties around the world. You have offered us farms. You have offered us buildings. You have offered us everything. Foundation has refused. If you made a financial donation that allows the expansion of the technology that we spend to do it, we accept. But if you have offered us, how many of you I can call one by one and you can come online and say, ancestral properties, things you developed and you're not interested. There shall be no temples in the path of the belief to soul. We are not here to do what we've seen has been done wrong tonight. We build enhancement centers to elevate the soul of the man, to teach, to believe less suffering, support. But when I look back at the Keshe Foundation, people offering us unlimited lands, I want you to build, to have, to bring their own many temples. I created the temple of knowledge in your hearts and your souls, and that's all that counts. It's you who has to keep that candle and make it to a fire. That's as simple as that. Where we create the exhibition center is for you to come and see, to elevate your knowledge, to increase your knowledge. And how you do next. When you come in, you feel, you understand. Any other
question? Kind of along those lines, there's a question from Freed in the live stream who says, Dear Mr. Keshe, did the government of China in any way respond to this Keshe Foundation flight unit with their nuclear-capable hypersonic missile, which was published widely in the last few days? Is there any coincidence there?
Nope. You got to realize I've said this before, we were invited by the Chinese to meet in a special meeting for the space flight. And then they realized that they don't have much to show, but they were talking a lot about something. And they said, no, you cannot see the system, but can you give us the combination of the fuel that we can test it? The Chinese have not reached the maturity of the technology, understanding the work of the technology. And I told them very recently, you stole from us, you stay till you learn. Chinese stole a lot of technologies from the Keshe Foundation in immense ways, and they turned it into their name that it doesn't show it's from outside. But step by step, they paid for it. But they change. You will see. You don't need supersonics, whatever. As I said to the Iranian officials in the past few days, we take the enhancement flight systems into Arizona because it's ours, it's part of the Keshe Foundation. We take it to Tel Aviv, we'll take it to Jerusalem, we take it to Mecca. And let's see who wants faster to get to the other side. We've seen in the past few days, Israel is creating a huge budget to be able to do bumper bumping, as I call it. The technology we have in Iran doesn't need bumpers. You won't even reach the border. That's not bump it. But it has to come from the intelligence of the Iranian leadership to put the hand of peace out to every nation. We gave the knowledge freely in the hand of Iranian leadership, and somehow they have to understand how to use it to change, to bring back the beauty of not only Zoroaster, the way, Kurosh, and seriously, but where kings came and wanted to be part of the Persian kingdom empire because it was a peaceful place. And this comes by the maturity of Iranian leadership and understanding it. And in a way, as I said many times, we open the nuclear centers and we gift it to the other nations, as the technology we have has already made nuclear technology obsolete. What are we negotiating for? As I said to the Iranian leadership very recently, the only nation who's been punished for its development in technology is the Iranian nation. Because we are advanced, because we are developing technologies beyond imagination. Sanctions against knowledge. Maybe it's the time to really teach the others that they'll become ashamed of themselves. So don't worry about how and who we can bring the Chinese supersonic missiles with a flip of a finger. But that's theirs. They have to develop it to learn, and maybe from it we see. As we have seen in the past few days, provocation by development of technology to destroy each other has become the habit of man, and he has to come to it. We have to do and carry on the way we are, irrespective of the governments and nations. Keshe Foundation has become a nation yet taught beautifully, so openly, and then you will see how you add to it. I have already made a nation out of you. You do not even know what is about to hit the mankind. When you have equal knowledge, you already have become equal. We rule different way than the world leaders. We rule through science, technology, and the sort of thing. And we teach all three at the same
time. Mr. Keshe, Boniface in the chat here is wondering about access to units. He says, greetings, can Mr. Keshe lender offer on credit to knowledge seekers the units at a subsidized pricing?
You talk to us, we'll open the channels. Many knowledge seekers have done many deals with the Keshe Foundation. Even the flight into space, we can talk with you. Many knowledge seekers, we allow the fresh enhancement units to be negotiated. That is their income. And it will be the same. You make an offer to the foundation, and if it's reasonable and it's something we can expand and extend onto, we always collaborate. It's your knowledge, it's your technology, but we have to expand it, that it doesn't become exclusive.
Christian in the Q&A is wondering if these units are an evolution from the 92nd Knowledge Seekers Workshop from 2015, where Mr. Keshe explains about the star formation and the use of two magravs. Says, thank you very much, Mr. Keshe, for the beauty and evolution of the knowledge presented and explained today.
I hope this will bring peace to man. And knowledge seekers have always been the flag bearers. We have put the price of this system at 10 million because of a specific reason. Knowledge seekers who approached us and approach us to be able to be part owners in these crafts, we always look into. When we have the knowledge seekers who can travel the span of this planet and beyond, governments have no more say. It means us as a race take over equal way together and be supported, but it has to be understood. It has to be totally understood. We will explain very soon a new way of all the knowledge seekers who are a part of, and in a way, progressive development of the knowledge with us, we open a channel to them that they understand. We open a way to them that they understand. And you talk to us, the foundation is open to do anything that the knowledge spreads and is equal across. Many knowledge seekers soon they become travel agents. When you can get these and you can transfer passengers to Moon, to Mars, and to New York, to Tehran, and the rest of it within a flick of a finger. You will see new announcements through deep developments which we have within the commercial world in a very, very short time. We're just tidying up the back end. And then you will see how the Keshe Foundation will become one of the largest corporations in the world. Any other question?
A couple more here from Liznio in the chat, who says, I felt how hard it is to accept to sign the World Peace Treaty, and recently I've seen consequences of not accepting to sign the World Peace Treaty after the presentation of it. How important is this for the flight units to be accepted?
You have to sign the World Peace Treaty through your heart, through your soul, not on the paper. We have no papers and no pens. You write it with a pen of your soul. This is what we said from the beginning. You see, you got to understand the people who instigate wars, and then we find out it's for their own personal benefit, and then we'll see where they will end up, and how we'll end up. We learned about one of them in the past few weeks. Why? We saw the replication of the same, because they came from the same blood, they came from the same way. Netanyahu created Iran as the biggest enemy, and started selling arms to protect the Muslim institution. and sold arms to the Saudis. Why? Because he banked 20-30% of the deals in his own private banks, private accounts. He did the hatred sell arms and to create a condition to collect money for himself. No world leader has over 2,000 court cases hanging on him. Now, was it on getting to the nuclear position, or was he making a black sheep that he could make a benefit by? This is what we have to become alert and understand. And knowledge seekers have to start becoming wise in how they manipulate you and how you allow them to manipulate you, because the next guy on the moon shot, and because he can do a magic, he'll become profitable. And how many of you are going to believe it? You will soon understand. Much more is behind the teaching than what we talk. There shall be no king, there shall be no world leaders, and there shall be no religions. We all become the religion and the leader and the king of our own souls. And this is what a lot of people don't like, because at the moment they're bent to kiss hand. That's the time where they have to kiss their own hand of their own demise. Any other question? Or shall we call it a day? I think it was a beautiful way to see how man has moved away from the four wheels to the wheel of the soul of the man, which is dynamic in this way.
Well, we have a comment from Azar that Mr. Keshe, there's a noise that comes from your microphone, like gush, gush sound.
Yeah, it is my headphone.
I think,
just
I think you're moving or doing something there. It sounds like some zipper.
I try to concentrate on the teaching of the soul and anything else, and sometimes it moves. The microphone moves. We change so many microphones to find the right way without actually bothering Rick. And this creates a lot of background things. Can you hear me now easier?
Yes,
and you don't hear the swish swish. Yeah.
You're better now. I thought you were busy in the background doing some things, so sometimes that happens.
No, it's just keeping concentrated on the task.
See, what else do we have here?
We had a day. You've been at it for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, this may be a quick question from Alberto. He wanted some direction about, he says, the Spanish group and many international visitors to our group would like to begin building the plasma feeding stations. Do you have any suggestions for us on going about that?
By a flight system, it does feed you on its own.
So bypass the feeding unit towers and just go for the flight system.
For the flight system, flies you, feeds you, does everything else for you.
Sounds good.
It'll be good. This is more or less beginning of the completion of the technology. The next step to this, the reason I introduced the flight system in such a small, versatile, is that can be reached by every man. Then trying to build through the fields massive space UFOs. This will be done in a coming time. In a coming time, not very long, a number of these systems will be set in a formation that through it you will find massive, massive UFOs. In a way, each system will take a place, and with it, you create a new ship. Not very long to go. Once the man gets hold of it, understand it. As I showed, you could connect these together. Now you can connect it together. And
They're already
even understand it, why this shape we chose this. Little by little, first learn to walk and then we'll see how you.
Okay, before we let you go, I'll just read the comment from Marius here, who had a question for you too, but I think it'll be, you've already answered it in many ways. He says, having such a revolutionary way of traveling will lead to our freedom, maybe not for all humans, but to those who will own such a vehicle or a spaceship. And this is opposite to what the world leaders want, but will force them to consider such changes into our society, maybe new regulations and restrictions. But at the same time, I see this as an opening to a new way of living, new cities, and a fresh, new, and healthy planet Earth. Then he asks, how do you see the future, Mr. Keshe? Are we heading to as a human race in the next 10 to 20 years? Thank you. As I mentioned, I think you've already answered that.
Yeah, I said that one. There's one thing for sure. In the next couple of years, we won't colonize the moon. We'll live on moon as we live in other cities. We will not colonize Mars and whatever we're trying to colonize. We'll live as part of us, as part of the citizens of there. We will talk about the solar system, not about planet Earth. And in the coming time, man will speak living in a galaxy. We will travel the depth of the space in a very easy way. And if those of you who manage to work off this simple system to elevate the understanding of the knowledge, you will travel the span of the universe. But you're not the first ones. Many races have already been through it. So we are not telling you the future. We tell you what is already happening and has happened to many races. Life starts with the interaction of the few fields, and then the interaction brings intelligence. Depending on the strength of the field, that intelligence has been created. They take different paths, but at the end, they create a structure like a brain, a structure like physicality, that without a structure, understanding the center is the soul, they create new life, new structure of existence and application. Mankind has not been the first one and shall never be the last one. And as I say, I'm a part-time job. And this correcting and teaching and bringing different races to see the path of the Creator is one of the things I've done for a long time. And I think I'll be at it after the human race is gone, as other places in the universe develop gradually. As more fields interact and create new life. Maybe some of it with the soul of the man who left this planet and start to cycle. We identify that. Thank you very much for today. And we have opened through the new era with this technology, but in a way, I wonder which president will ever be able to get into one of these systems and actually flies. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Get together and purchase these systems, because I love, as I've been all the time, to see the knowledge seekers to be the frontrunners, and then they break the ethos of the work into the work. Thank you very much.
Okay, I thought maybe I'd play the cycle of creation to end the workshop with. That's okay.
It'll be nice to see this video of the.
Yes, I want to play that first, actually. Of the unit.
Yep.
The flight unit. Okay.
The flight unit, any of them, they're beautiful. Thank you very much for the team in the background putting this together, especially Marius. And a lot of work done by the to put these pictures and everything else. Indeed.
Yes, yes. Beautiful work, yeah. Okay, thank you all for joining us today for the 403rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on October 21st, 2021. And we have what's coming up, the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace coming up next Tuesday, as usual at the 4 p.m. Central European time. And I believe the Knowledge Seekers Workshop for next week should be at back to our usual 9 a.m. Central European time.
Yes, it will be definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'll play the flight enhancement spaceship video here first, and then we'll go out with the cycle of creation video. Bye, everyone, and thank you for participating in today's workshop.
The revolutionary new Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit is due to be launched in June 2022, and in the same year is expected to fly passengers into space, to the moon and beyond for a day or even several days at a time. There is no need for the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit to carry food or medicine, as it is equipped with the latest space technology for transportation, transmutation and deep space operation. This extraordinary breakthrough technology ushers in a new era of travel without the need of fuel, food, or medicine, even during the longest excursions into deep space. Each spaceship unit has a 4-passenger capacity for long or short duration flights and has the capability to travel between cities on Earth in a matter of seconds to minutes, depending on the distance and speed. This ability to traverse massive distance in such incredibly short time is not just a breakthrough for human transport, it also completely revolutionizes the transportation of goods and cargo and will rapidly overcome the need for one of our most polluting practices, namely marine shipping, as it finally breaks us free not only from the combustion of heavy diesel, but from the combustion of any fuel for propulsion in the future. The Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit, a new paradigm in space travel, space medicine, and space technology.
The process of understanding is very simple. The process is, as I explained last time, I explain more in detail. We are created out of the rays within the center of the universe. In interaction and reduction in strength and division by the strength in certain strength fields, in collection of the totality of the expansion of the universe, some energies, some dynamic fields have come together. Over billions of years, these fields lead to the creation of what we call the sun. where the plasma gathers together. The same process repeats again because the sun is the same as the energy center of the universe. Now, the heavier, the larger amount of the energy which is collected in this span of the universe, we call the sun, that irradiates out, does the same thing again. Radiates fields out, and in interaction with itself, with the fields of itself, leads to creation of planet. In that process of the creation of planet, the same process happens again. In the interaction of the fields of the earth with its environment and cooling and exchange with the strength of the other things in the environment of the space of the solar system, leads to creation of man, cell, matter state. And that itself, in coming together and slowing down in such certain ways, as we call, leads to another sun. We call the soul of the man. This is the truth about the life and creation of the man. But if the soul of the man can understand and absorb and be correct with his conduct, he can become the strength of the fields and carry the strength of the field of the planet which came to his creation. And if the soul can understand with the same process, can interact, can be correct, can absorb with itself the totality of the strength of what it needs, he shall become the sun. And then the same soul has the energy that it can absorb within the solar system, within the galaxy, shall become the center of the universe. This happens on earth, we call it the rain. Come from, goes back to. Solar system, we call it planetary system. We come from the rays, we become the planet and go back to the mother. The same thing happens with the galaxies, with the solar systems, which they get absorbed back in and chewed up back into the universe. The life, the process of existence in the universe is the same. It doesn't matter on what exchange and what extent. So, what is the man fighting for? Why do we fight for something which has come from the point of the creation, and in the process it goes back to the creation? The soul of the man, as the energy of the earth, gives the face of the man, the face of the earth, and that process is the same for the soul of the man. Our soul, in reduction in strength, in interaction with the emotion of the field of the environment, leads to manifestation of the existence of the man. But once it's completed, does it need the face? Or can it be and becomes free from it, what we call the soul of the man, to be free and detached from its existence? Our soul is part of the process of the creation. The key to one question, who man shall be in the future, to be answered, as we saw the sun became the earth, and as we saw the earth became the man's soul, what will be the destiny of the soul of the man now becomes free at the point of departure from physicality. Would it become the sun for creation of another life, or many lives, or correction of lives? This shall be, and this is how it happens. When you create a soul which is not correct, which is misconduct by itself, cannot give, you lead to the creation of this next cycle of creation, which has started the wrong way, the wrong strength. This is one thing the man has never understood. You become the creator of another universe, another cycle. And this is what you have to judge within the structure of the soul of the man. What would I like that cycle to be? In the physical life, we create children. In the dimension of the life of the soul of the man, what that man, what that soul will create. If man has thought up to now, that's it, my end, my point, when I die is finished, there's as much fallacy that when the sun is destroyed in any shape or form, there shall be nothing left. But we know the parts of the sun becomes part of the galaxy and becomes part of new life. So shall be the soul of the man. The judgment of the man has to be according to what he sees the future his soul can conduct to be. The day of judgment is for the man, not in front of the Creator. That what my soul judges to be and what shall create. Man never understood and shall never understand till can solve this dilemma within itself. The reality is very, very, very real. And that is, as we've seen, the energy of the galaxy becomes the sun, the energy of the sun has become the earth, and the energy of the earth has become the soul of the man. So shall be the soul of the man, which is the energy itself, another cycle of life. How can you change when you don't understand? How can you change the process of understanding if you do not understand the process of the creation? Do we need to extend the understanding of the man that what is the future he brings? We care about our children, what education they get, what they wear, how happy they'll be, where they sleep. Now the man has to be careful and consider, what life shall my soul create? Because those are the children of your soul. As we see, the rays of the sun has become a planet and 7 million children of it. 7 billion unlimited, which is growing. So the soul of the man will go through the same process. How many billions and subdivisions and sub-matter state of the physicality of the man, your soul shall create. Would it be the soul of wars and conflict and ever killing? Or would it be the soul of this, let's say, solar system, which is peaceful? This is the truth and the reality about the soul of the man. First of all, as I said many times recently, we never understood that the soul of the man is within the structure of the man. And now that we understood, we understand on departure from the physicality of the man, the same process will carry on as it did for a star, a planet, and the soul of the man becomes another energy source, a higher order, which itself leads to the creation. It becomes the star, it becomes the center of the new cycle of creation. This is what the human race has to understand. The cycle actually starts at the point of death and not finishes at the point of death. In so many ways, if one understands, is as the dusts, specks of dust came together to make the earth in the solar system, so has the specks of the atoms has come to be the creator of the man. And the essence of the creation of the specks of dust on the solar system has led to the creation of the man, so shall be the fields from the soul of the man, which lead to creation of another cycle of life. What kind of life man would like to have to be created by his soul? This is the day of judgment. This is what man never understood. Now you have to understand. You have no choice. Up to today you were not aware of it. From today you are aware of it. You are responsible for it. Your conduct has to be to elevate your soul. That in elevating the soul, what you become the creator of stands correct in the conduct of the citizens. We don't give fairy tale. This is the truth. But as you've seen, the process does not stop with one sun. The cycle carries on. It's very interesting in how humanity, now knowing the fact, will handle the fact. It'll take decades for man to understand, and then you understand those who become the tools of war, the tools of conflict. They have less, they have nothing to start with. They have to become the dust in the solar system of the others till the day they learn more, as they cannot create a new cycle through their own soul. This is the elevation of the soul of the man. To be part of the creation of a beautiful life for the next cycle. When you don't have it, you have to become another cell in the body of the structure of the bigger, for you to be just there that you can run when you could have been the soul of the man. They say, do not create fear. I give you the point of love for creation. If you cared about your children on this planet to have the best, your true children come out of your own soul in the coming time. How would you like to educate them? How would you like to be when you are in conflict with yourself and the cause of so much mayhem? This is the truth, and the man will take a long time to understand, as now that we understand the soul of the man is an operator for the creation of the future extent of the life of the man. Whatever is gathered by the soul at the end becomes his point of reference of his own creation, of his own dimension. But the strangest thing is, what he creates from his soul shall become the creator of the other souls. This is the beauty about the creation, and one understands it, understands no limitation.